Hey everybody. Today we're going to learn a little something new. This is what all of the information about integers has led us to. Today we're going to be learning about plotting on a coordinate plane. Sorry for my writing buddies as always. Plotting on a coordinate plane. All right, so go get your paper, your notebook, whatever you're doing your math in while we're at home for e-learning, and pause the video. Come right back. Give me a like too. All right. Excuse me. Now that you're back, first thing we're going to do is learn how to draw or create a coordinate plane. You need a whole page for this, buddies. So get a whole page out. And we're going to begin to draw. I want you to section your paper like you would almost like a T. So we're going to split it in half. Oh, where's my pen? Make it thicker. Straight down the middle. Okay, and then we're going to split it in half east and west, straight down the middle, right? All right, we did this for a reason because we're creating our coordinate grid, okay? We've been learning about positive and negative integers, right? So when we're plotting on our coordinate grid, you have a y-axis, and I'm going to try to write it here. And I want you all to take notes on your paper. And then this line, let me see if I can highlight it. This line here would be considered, not that one, that's the y. But this line here, that would be considered the x-axis. So I'm going to write x-axis, or axes. Okay? So the way I remember it, you all, is that y has that long line that extends from it when you write it. And then this has a long line. So I always remember that that is the y-axis, the one that stands tall like the y. If you wrote x and y together, which one stands taller? I hope you said y, right? So that's why this one helps me remember that this line is the y-axis because that one stands taller. Okay? All right, let's continue. So we know we have our x-axis and our y-axis, and we always use x first. And I'll put a number 1 here. So you can remember we always use x first, right? We have to plot our integers, okay? Remember before we learned that after 0, you have positive numbers on the right, negative numbers on the other side of the 0. When you're plotting on a coordinate grid, this mark here is where the 0 belongs. The 0 is also called the origin. Okay, this is where everything begins. This is where everything crosses. So here at the origin is the place where x and the y-axes cross each other. This is where they meet, okay, at the origin. So let's think about it as the east and west number line. I can use red. On this side of the 0 would be positive 1. Then we would have positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, positive 5, positive 6. So if that's the positive side on the east and west number line, we've already been practicing, most of us, our number lines, positive and negative integer number lines. So we know that the negative numbers belong on the other side. So this would be negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. I can get a negative 7, I think. Negative 7. So now we have to plot or input our positive and negative integers on our north and south number line. Remember last week when we were drawing our north and south number lines that the positive numbers belong above sea level, the negative numbers below sea level. If you didn't see those videos, you need to go back, watch those videos first, do the practice assignments, and then come back to this video. Everything was scaffolded. It was built upon the other concept. So I want you all to learn those first and then come back here. All right, so for those of us who did see the video, let's go ahead and plot our integers on the number line. I think I want to use green. Okay, so we know our positive integer, positive numbers belong at the top of the number line, above the 0, above sea level. Okay, I'm going to do positive 1, positive 2. I went on that side of the number line because I have that word origin there. So let me write my positives a different way here. Let's do positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, positive 5, positive 6. Okay? And all the negative integers, they belong below sea level on this north and south number line. So this would be negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8. Good. Okay, now that we have plotted all of our numbers and our integers, we have to name our quadrants. All right. The way the quadrants start, this would be, each one of these quarters are called or named quadrants. And here I'll put the name here, quadrants. I want to write it yellow. Quad. And we talked about the word or the prefix quad or Latin root quad in class, and we know quad means 4. Okay. And these are the 4 quadrants. And I hope I spell that correctly, quadrants, right? But I'm going to erase the number 4. We just know that quad means 4. Okay? So each quadrant has a number to name its quadrants. And the numbers don't start going from left to right. They kind of start from the top on the right and work their way around backwards. So almost like you're making a backward circle. So this is quadrant 1. This one would be quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and the last one would be quadrant 4. Okay? So just like we were making a backward circle, we started at quadrant 1, to quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Okay, then back to quadrant 1. So pretty cool, right? Now that we know that each one of those quadrants has a name, they also have characteristics. Okay, so I'm going to grab a purple. Now, in quadrant 1, all of the coordinates that can be plotted here in quadrant 1 will have a positive coordinate plotting, not grid. Oh, I had a brain fart for a minute, you all. Coordinate plotting points. Okay, because let me explain why. Everything on the x-axis in this quadrant has a positive integer, a positive number. Everything on the y-axis in this quadrant is a positive number, which means that every point that are plotted here, okay, will be positive coordinate plots. Okay. All right, let's go to the next quadrant. Quadrant 2. Keep the documents here, okay? The characteristics for quadrant 2, you all. Okay? When you're plotting in quadrant 2, everything on the x-axis is a positive number. Everything on the y-axis is a negative number. So the characteristics for quadrant 2 would be positive, negative here. Everything that plots here, those quadrant points or plotting points will have positive and then a negative number. And I know that belongs in quadrant 2. Let's move on to quadrant 3. Grab my purple. All right, quadrant 3. Everything on the x-axis is a negative number. Everything on the y-axis here is a negative number. So the characteristics for quadrant 3 are negative x and negative y coordinates. And then let's move on to quadrant 4. Everything that's plotted here, all of those coordinate plots, you all, everything here on the x-axis is a negative number or negative integer. Everything in the y-axis is a positive integer. So let me quickly review. Characteristics of quadrant 1, positive, positive. All coordinates that are positive, positive will be plotted here. So you may have a coordinate that is black will be 3, 2. Positive 3, positive 2. I automatically know that that particular coordinate point will be plotted, coordinate pair will be plotted in quadrant 1 because it has a positive x and a positive y. Okay. Here we're reviewing the characteristics of quadrant 2. Every coordinate point or coordinate pairs, and I'll talk about that in just a second, will have a positive x and a negative y coordinate pair. Okay. Here in quadrant 3, all coordinate pairs have a negative x and a negative y. Here in quadrant 4, the characteristics here are the negative x and a positive y. So each quadrant has its own characteristics. All right. All right, let's talk about plotting here. So we learned how to draw our own coordinate plane. We learned the characteristics and where things belong. We learned about the origin here. We learned about the y-axis, the x-axis, and we also learned where to place our integers on our coordinate plane, okay? And we learned about the characteristics of the quadrant. So let's start plotting. So see if you can go to a new sheet of paper. I want you all to get the practice so that you have the expertise that comes behind it, okay? So Ms. Durr needs to go get what's usually used to plot. And we usually use something that looks like graphing paper, you all, to plot. And if you don't have graphing paper right now, I understand. Definitely fine with Ms. Durham. Use your paper and let's draw again. So I'm going to draw it with you. Even though it's already on here, I want to draw it with you because you're going to draw again another coordinate plane. So I want you to draw a line straight down the middle. They don't want me to draw. Uh-oh. Where's my pen? Okay. Straight down the middle. Mine's not going to be that neat. This will be your y-axis. And who told it to? Okay, I need to get back to the other. Now I want you to go ahead and draw a line straight across for your x-axis, and that's the dog if you hear the snoring. He snores like a human. This will be the x-axis, and I'm going to move up. Okay, now we know the origin is where both the x and the y-axis cross. And so now we have to put in or write in our integers, okay? So we know to the right of the 0 are positive numbers. So if you don't see a positive sign in front of a number, remember that's still a positive number. So this is positive 1. This one is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I think I can get up until 9. Very good. Now we have to put our negative integers. This will be negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9. Okay, now we have to do our y-axis, our north and south number line. Okay? So above sea level, you have your positive numbers. Positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And below sea level, you have your negative integers, right? This one's negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, and I think I can get a negative 8. So what do we know about these positive and negative numbers on the number line here? They are all evenly spaced, right? And then they're all in order, okay? Here from least to greatest, and then here from greatest to least, right? Or if I wanted to say it this way, greatest to least, okay? And we know we have two axes. We have an X and a Y. So let's talk about coordinate pairs. When you all see your coordinate pairs, they'll look like this. And I hope it lets me right at the top. You will see, oh, it's not letting me right up there. Hold on. You will see your brackets or your parentheses. Oh, why won't they let me write on the top part? You'll see parentheses. You'll see the first number, which is always X. That first number always belongs on the X axis. And then you'll see the second number, which belongs on the Y axis. And I want to write it. This number here is always the X axis. This number here is always the Y axis. The first number is the coordinate plot for the X axis. The second number is the coordinate plot for the Y axis. Okay? So, first number X, second number Y. Let me go ahead and minimize this so we can go ahead and plot, right? I want to go ahead and show you how. We know the characteristics of our different quadrants. Okay? So this particular coordinate pair has a negative and a positive. Which one of these quadrants would be plotting a negative and a positive coordinate pair? Pause it if you need to so you can think it out. Okay, let's think about it here. This is a negative on the X, and I know on my X axis here, negatives are over here, okay? And then a positive on the Y. And I know on the Y axis, the positives belong here. So now we just have to find its exact spacing. So I know on the X axis, or we know here on the X axis, is giving us the instruction to plot a -3 on the X axis. So I'm going to go to the X axis, and I know my negatives are off to the left, so I'm going to go to -3. If I start at 0, 1, 2, -3 is here. I'm already on -3 on the X axis. Here, the instructions or the coordinate pair tell us to plot +2 on the Y axis. I'm going to start at the -3 on the X axis, and I'm going to move up to a +2 on the Y axis. This is +1. This is +2. My coordinate plot or my coordinates pair should be plotted here. Uh-oh, I need a pen. This is where my coordinate pair belongs. That's where the plot goes. That's where the point goes. Because here it told us -3 on the X and then 2 on the Y axis. So I have to go ahead and put my point here. Now, usually, not always, but sometimes, when you see that the plot is there, most people will write their coordinates there too. Oh, I didn't pick up everything, you all. I'm going to erase it here, and I'm going to write it down here. This was -3x and a +2y. All right, so let's get a little bit more practice. Let's practice a different pair. Let's do +6 and -4. All right, now which coordinate plane has the characteristics of a positive then a negative number? So this really means +x, -y. I know +x is here, -y is here, so we're already in the white quadrant, right? We just have to find our exact point for our coordinate pair. So let me move this out the way. Hopefully they'll let me move the whole thing. Good. Okay. So let's go ahead and count. Okay. This tells me right here that I need to go to the +6 on the x-axis. So here's my x-axis, and I know positive numbers are on this side. So +1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So +6 is here, you all, right? And then this also tells me I need to go from positive 6 to a negative 4 on the y-axis. So if I'm at positive 6 here, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and negative 4. So my coordinate plot or my point goes here. And I'll go ahead and put it in 4. Right? And then you usually indicate what the coordinate pair was there. Right? Okay, so let's try a few more, and then I want you all to try to plot on your own, plotting your coordinate pairs. Okay? So let's go with positive 2. No, let's go positive 4 and positive 5. Okay? So which quadrant has characteristic for positive numbers? Positive x and a positive y. So here I know x, all positive numbers are here. Y, all positive numbers are here. So it would be quadrant 1. It would be this quadrant right here where we would plot. So let's go there. Positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4x. And then the positive 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5y. So I know my plot or my point goes there. So let me grab a blue. Oh, let me start over. Positive 4 on the x-axis puts me here, and then positive 5 on the y-axis puts our point here. So I'm going to plot our coordinate pair there. And let me see if I can drag our coordinate pair over to indicate the exact location, right? Okay, so let's plot -5, -5, possibly. So I'll write it over here. -5x, -5y. Okay, and I did that on purpose because I know this is the only quadrant left. And I know this particular quadrant has negative on the x and negative on the y. So this particular coordinate pair will be plotted here. Okay? So let's count over. This really means -5 on the x, -5, and then I go down to -5 on the y. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's -5 on the x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -5 on the y. So my plot, go down to -5. My plot or my point for my coordinate pair belongs there. Right? And I already have my coordinates paired there, so everything lines up perfectly. I'm going to do one more, and then I'll give you a set to go ahead and plot on your own. And hopefully you can send me a picture of what you've done. And then also look at the update video that I sent with the updates from the school district so that you all can stay updated and your parents can stay well informed. Okay? Let's go to our last plot. For today on the video, you are going to do your practice plotting for homework, okay? Let's make this one positive 3 and positive 4, okay? So I know positive and positive numbers belong in quadrant 1, okay? So this really tells me that on the x-axis, I go to positive 3, and on the y-axis, I go up to a positive 4. So let's get ready to count. On the x-axis, positive 3 is here. And then on the y-axis, positive 4 stops here. So my coordinate point belongs there. And then I'm going to move my coordinate pair to indicate where the coordinates that we plotted. All right? Okay, so I'm going to give you practice problems. I want you all to do these practice problems on your own. If you created your coordinate plotting, oh boy, I'm a little sleepy here. If you created your coordinate grid, you can plot the points on that. If you need to create a new one, you all go ahead and create a new one, and you can plot on that. Send me a picture and let me know that you actually did your work and you actually did your practice. You got to keep practicing. I know this is a special time in our history, you all. You got to keep practicing. You got to keep learning. You got to keep learning your math. We can do this, okay? So, number one, I want you to plot. Oh, let me grab. I'll do a red, all red, so you all know. -4, +7. Okay, that'll be number one. Number two, +3, -3. Number three, +2, +7. Number four, -4, -6. Number 5, -5, -2. Number 6, -8, +9. Number 7, -1, 0. Number 8, 0, 0. I don't have any room for 9 and 10. Let me show you one more thing that I almost forgot. How to plot zero coordinates, you all. All right, when you have, let's take the coordinate pair 0, -4. So I know that I have to go to the 0 coordinate on my x-axis. And we all know for x and y, 0 is here, okay? So when you have a 0 coordinate as an x or a y, you stay on the line. Don't move off the line until you're ready to move on to your y. So my 0x is here. I'm going to stay on that line because that's where the 0 coordinate belongs. And I'm going to move up to -4. I move down to a -4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And so my plot for 0, 4 will belong here. Okay? Let me make it, let me make it green. Let's say green, so you all will see. And then I will move my coordinate pair over there so that we know what the coordinates were for that particular plot. All right, that's it, buddies. Storm's a little tired here. I want you all to do the best that you can do. Go ahead and plot. Get your practice on. Practice doesn't make you perfect. Practice makes you an expert, okay? And I hope you all are doing your assignments in order, or at least do them every day. So a lot of you all have been doing really good with the check-ins. That's great. So you should get up 8:30. The check-ins will come. And around 10:30, the math video should show up. I have them programmed that way. And then in between there, after you do your check-in, you should go to your study island. Do your reading assignments on Study Island. Do your math assignments on Study Island. And then you have either a science or social studies assignment on Study Island. So you should get those done, you all, in between. So you have your check-in question, your Study Island assignments, and then your math videos. I'm going to give you some more information about some other things. Make sure you watch that video. I should send it today. All right, everybody. Thank you.